Hey, what is going on, YouTube? Aaron here. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a fun one for you guys in today's video here. We have the Druid, the AP gun-only destroyer that recently came to World of Warships Legends, available, of course, in the store for a brief rental phase. We're going to do today's video a little bit in reverse, going over the modifications, stats, commander guide first, and then I've got a unique, fun video to show you guys here at the end. But modifications, as always, aiming system mod 1, we are not running propulsion because the British destroyers and cruisers, I believe, actually have auto propulsion kind of tied in, so we are running steering gears in the second slot there. Concealment in slot 3, and we are actually running the legendary gunfire control system mod 2, aka the range mod, in the 4th slot. I may switch that to reload in the future, but just know for these particular games that I'm about to show, this is what we were running. Our commander for these games was Miss Suna Okami Shirako there, with her base trait of Pinpoint, increased gun traverse speed, as well as main battery reload time. On top of that, we were running Observant Rage here in the first slot, Reaching Out, which is increased reload time, as well as a little bit of range in the second slot, Perceptive in the third slot there. And of course, we had to choose her unique base trait in the 4th slot here, and I just decided to do this because a few people said that this commander was tailor-made for the Druid, and I'm not exactly sure of that, but we just decided to do that. I question whether it's tailor-made for the Druid because we have Rather Be Torching, and the ship, of course, doesn't have HE, so naturally we chose Unstoppable there. Eric Bay and Billy Sims there for inspirations. With the type, a type of gunboat like this, I definitely want concealment and health. We could fully spec into reload with reload mod and Mordoff there to get this reload down to probably like 1.6 seconds. But as it stands, and as I'm about to show you guys right here, your reload is already, I think it's 2.1 base, 2.2, and we've got it down to 1.9. Specking anything any further, you're just basically getting a diminishing returns. But the Druid is essentially a daring class without torpedoes or a rear turret at the exchange of higher caliber guns. Your short duration smokescreens here, as well as the similar British short range, long duration sonar. You do only get 2 charges of them, so keep that in mind when you are playing, and of course the repair party. But let's go ahead and review the stats here. 25,200 health with, of course, Billy Sims there as an inspiration, so we are getting a little bit more health from that. 2x2 127s with a 12.6 kilometer firing range, a 1.9 reload, a 6.9 180 turn time there, and a max AP damage of 2200. A 66 overall AA rating with some decent mid-range AA there. Maneuverability is you're a little bit slow. You do have some decent rudder shift and turning circle, but the 36 knot speed going between this and the Marceau, I felt really slow. A 5.8 concealment, and that is even with a camo concealment module and Eric Bay, so you are lacking a little bit in terms of concealment. Here are stats for 6 games. I know 6 games, not enough to fully judge a ship, but we do work full-time and operate our own personal training business. So give me a little bit of break. I woke up a little bit early to record this video. 70,000 average damage, 2,000 average XP, decent win rate, decent attracted damage. I think this is a fun ship. I think she lacks a little bit in terms of her DPM, as we will highlight in a few instances here in the upcoming videos. Your armor, you're a destroyer with 20mm plating all over. Try not to get hit by HE, SAP, and small caliber AP even. So there is the Druid, a daring class type destroyer that they kind of modified there with the 127. So you do have some decent AP characteristics. I've been told it's very similar to the Mino AP with the improved pen angles, so keep that in mind. In certain situations though, as I'm about to highlight and showcase, it felt like you just weren't getting enough at range, and of course is why I mentioned I probably will switch to the reload mod, even though I don't like over-specking into certain, people are like, oh, I have a 1.5 reload. It's like, okay, cool. Is that so different than 1.7? Are we really, I think sometimes we try to, overemphasize. It's like, oh, dude, this is full secondaries, or I have 112,000 instead of 110,000 health. But anyway, that is for a different video. Let's get into the action. And here we go. That's right, guys. A mini match, cross-play off 4-on-4 on update day. If you guys want to see me get hypertension instantly, just watch me play any one of these mini games. I was initially going to make this video talking about how just raging about crossplay off and how Wargaming should change it, and I truthfully think they should. You should not be able to manipulate the matchmaker to get a smaller lobby simply so you can place top 3 or whatever people's reasoning are for turning off crossplay. And I'm not gonna lie, I had a previous game in the Druid which did not turn out so well for me, as update week brings all the joys of the best blue teammates. So I wanted to use this game right here as a little bit of a revenge factor, and oh boy did we. Out of all of the destroyers in this game, I think this is the purest form of a hunter-killer type destroyer, as obviously without any torpedoes or rear-facing guns, you have no choice but to head face on into the enemy and try to outplay them with your guns. Now obviously in a game where there are more than 4 players, you don't want to aimlessly rush into a situation like this. As you can see, we are detected. Our concealment is not that great. However, in a crossplay off lobby with the smaller amount of teammates and less chance to get put in a crossfire, we decided to go ahead and push in here and absolutely abuse this poor Velos here. We still do have to be cautious as that Tirpitz was detecting us, so we go ahead and pop our smoke screen. The good news is our battleship is actually spotting that Velos as he decided to shoot as well. So we're going to go ahead and try to aim high, getting some kind of landing shots on a little bit of his superstructure there. One fault of this ship is that you will not do well against bow on targets after you saturate their superstructure. And this is a perfect example of this right here. A few shatters, 11 bounces. We need to get on the broadside of this Tirpitz. But later on in the game, I will show you how devastating these guns can be if you can do so. Now that we have lost concealment though, we are able to push into the cap here. I briefly looked at the other enemy Velos, but I knew that Crazy Fan is a viewer and member of the channel, and he had that situation well taken care of. So we decide not to shoot at him and go in instead and hunt down this other Velos, which is sort of trapped in his smoke screen right here. Now, part of this decision was made by the fact that I had already activated my sonar, and seeing as you only get 2 of them, I wanted to make a good use of this first one here. I think sometimes with the Daring or other British destroyers, we kind of just pop that early sonar, and it's always good to have it running, especially when you are running and gunning and utilizing smoke screens, as smoke screens are great torpedo magnets. And here this Velos is discovering why you do not want to be caught by the sonar and guns of the Druid. We are getting a few overpens, however, the Velos starts to angle. 2,300 there, 1,400 apiece there, 2,000. Yeah, when you start to angle with the improved pen angles of this boat and you get those full penetrations, the DPM is off the charts. With that quick elimination though, we have complete control of this cap and of this flank, and now it is time to abuse a Tirpitz, who decided not to push with his ally and support him, and you will see why that was a poor decision in just a moment here. We tried to poke a few shells around the island there while still utilizing what was left of the smokescreen from the Velos. We did manage to keep our ship in it for just a little bit, but we're going to go ahead and shoot here, try and get the Tirpitz to shoot so that way he will remain detected in our smoke. We also noticed that our twist and track did change, and the other Velos is now the closest ship as he tries to get a cheeky blind fire on us, but he will find out in just a moment why that is a bad idea as he gets detected there. I'm not exactly sure how he got detected. I think it might have been our battleship, but regardless, we're going to go ahead and line up these AP salvos as the battleship gets a beautiful shot on him. So shout out to our teammate for pushing forward there, and yeah, in a brief 3.5 minutes there, we have eliminated both of the enemy destroyers and 50% of the enemy team. And what I'm about to say next is coming from a place of good intent. If you are dying far too often in 9-on-9 lobbies and you think that turning off crossplay to get fewer players is going to make you a better player, it is not. I made a video about this a while ago and someone was like, well, actually it shows how much more skillful you are, and you know, I get broadsided too often, and that's just... If you're getting broadsided too often, that shows me you're not paying attention. 1v1ing somebody in this game isn't necessarily a show of skill. So, turn on the crossplay, pay attention to your angles, support your teammates, and guys, I know it can be frustrating. I actually have a video coming out of the update week experience where we absolutely get brutalized. So just know that everyone experiences it. But anyway, that's just my brief message, and back to the carnage here. And seeing now, as we have eliminated the only other destroyers on the enemy team, we are free to farm these battleships at our own discretion here. And as you can see, we are just racking up these gun target medals. Now, of course, as you can see, we are getting a lot of bounces, a few shatters, a few overpens, and even some decent penetrations there. But in order to maximize your DPM effectiveness, as this Alabama actually takes a pretty decent shot at us, you want to get on the broadside, and that is going to be the skill or the trick of this ship. As now that we have finally worked our way to the somewhat broadside of this turpets here, and we are aiming for the bow, which is going to get you more full penetrations. A little trick to use is after you have saturated the superstructure and potential upper belt of the battleships, especially with your small caliber guns, aim for the bow, the stern, different parts of the ship that are essentially not the main armor belt. And there we actually tick our high caliber medal as we hit our 4th ship. Just so you guys are aware, the high caliber medal is 30% of the enemy team's total damage, which I think is like 150 in this game. There was not much damage available to us, but you have to damage at least 4 of the enemy ships. So even if you kill all 3 ships and get all of their health, you have to hit a 4th one in order to get that medal. On top of that, we were unable to get the Confederate medal in this game because there was only 4 ships. Unable to get the Kraken medal, and yeah, just another reason I just don't like crossplay. But here's a great example of what we were talking about earlier. We're aiming at the superstructure in mid-belt there. We decide to switch to the bow, and here comes, it just feels like the, you know, the Sonic coins. Ding-ding-ding, ding-ding-ding. We are just getting 4, 5, 700, 800, 400 there, all at 1.9 seconds with 2 guns. Yeah, this thing is... I can't imagine what this Turpitz was going through. This dude is going to switch to Robo-Blocks if he was the one that turned off crossplay. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, that is the Druid and how absolutely gross it can be in the right set of circumstances. And like the potato that I am, I managed to click myself into another game right away. But I ended up taking a screenshot of the scoreboard because I submitted it to the CC Discord to ask once again why on seemingly the most populated day that the game is going to see for the next 5 weeks on update day, why I'm still getting a crossplay off lobby. Again, but that's just me ranting and raving here. 28 first place, a shout out to Crazy there, the 21:48 in second. He was a great support. We split all the kills between us there in a 7-minute 4-on-4 game. But alas, that is the Druid, guys. She is available in the store for a limited time. Make sure you guys, if you want to test her out, grab her. I hope that she feels a little bit weak, in my opinion. If you can manage to get up close and get the broadside bow of a battleship, yes, you are absolutely going to shred them, such as we did in that situation. However, there were a few other games, and I'll put in clips here, where we were essentially caught and the ships knew that we had AP, so they were bow tanking us, and we were useless. Now, of course, that is part of the skill of the game, getting that flank, getting that cap, putting yourself in situations, and I think this ship is going to be a great test or show of skill, meaning, you know, you have to outplay your enemy or outclass them in order to get those advantages. But a majority of players simply want point-click battleships, sail across the water, and big guns go boom, high damage numbers. So we will be doing a few of those videos as well. I've got, I think, a meme type of video that I'm going to put out tomorrow I think you guys will enjoy. Let me know in the comments down below. And also just a quick little side note, I don't know what YouTube is doing, but half of my comments yesterday were hidden and waiting for review. And I was like, damn, am I falling off? And probably, but... sorry if your comments are not showing up, but YouTube was hiding them for some reason. So I'll try and make all comments, viewable on this video. So comment the most vile stuff that you've ever seen. No, I'm just kidding. Love you guys. Have a great day. The time this video is out, it'll be 9/11, and never forget. If you haven't seen, off topic, if you haven't seen the video of the red bandana, I highly recommend that. I often ask myself what I would have done in that situation, and here I am complaining about a cross-play off lobby instead of, yeah. Anyway, be grateful for today. I love you guys. Have a great day. I'm out. Peace.